So 1.6 is just around the corner, and I thought it'd be a great time to get a video out for you guys, sharing with you my top 8 tips on how you can get the most out of the time we got remaining and how you can plan and prepare properly for 1.6. So let's jump straight into it. Here are my top 8 tips on how you can prepare efficiently for 1.6. Tip number 1, Phoenix credits. As you'll probably be aware, the current Phoenix credit cap in 1.5 is 2,000. In 1.6, this is being raised to 5,000. So if you can start running your daily missions, getting those Phoenix credits up to around the 2,000 mark, you can be guaranteed that as soon as 1.6 hits, you're ready to pick up any new weapons, gear sets, blueprints, anything that currently needs Phoenix credits to buy. You've got to be able to grab those from day 1. Tip number 2, build up your currencies and gather crafting materials. The cost of rerolling your gear in 1.6 is going to be capped at 5 rolls, so that means in addition to picking up weapons, gear and mods on a weekly basis, it's important to get as many credits as possible so that on day 1 you can reroll your gear and try and min-max that gear as quickly as possible. Tip number 3, save your caches. In 1.6, named items are now going to be known as exotic items. That means if you save your weekly assignment caches, or your survival caches, or any other cache that currently gives a named item, you have a chance that that cache, if opened after 1.6 drops, will drop you an exotic item. Named items like the pecan, the urban MDR, the historian, Barrett's bulletproof vest, shortbow knee pads, or any other item that currently comes from assignment caches will have a chance to drop in 1.6. So don't forget, next time you get a weekly assignment cache or a survival cache, save them for the small chance that you're going to get an exotic item in 1.6. Tip number 4, buy or collect named weapons. In 1.6, many of the named weapons such as the historian, the pecan, the urban MDR, the hungry hog are all getting a buff in one way or another. Those buffs can range from increases to the base damage to completely new and unique weapon talents. The weapons that can be bought from upstairs in the base of operations, those will cost you normal credits, and the ones that are bought from the hub downstairs in the base of operations, those are going to cost you Phoenix credits. Other named weapons such as the urban MDR can be gotten from survival caches, the hungry hog can be found in the DZ, and like I said earlier, some of the named weapons can be found at the end of incursions or dropped from open world bosses. So my recommendation would be to start collecting them now, put them in your stash. There's a high likelihood that many of the weapon talents are going to be re-rolled when 1.6 hits to include the new weapon talents. And who knows, you could end up with a God Roll Urban MDR at day 1. Tip number 5, save any gear with high native armor rolls or any preferred stats. As you'll no doubt be aware, in 1.5 it was massively important to get armor as a main stat on every piece of gear that you could get. That being chest piece, knees, holster and backpack. In 1.6, armor as a major attribute has been dropped. This allows us to vary our builds to focus on other major attributes that we might find useful. This should allow for true build diversity in 1.6. That means if you get a chest piece, a holster, knee pads or a backpack and it doesn't have armor, so long as it's got a good native armor roll and the minor stats are stats that might complement your build, keep it, put it in your stash and wait and see what happens in 1.6. Major attributes such as skill power, damage to elites, enemy armor damage, skill haste are all viable for every build in 1.6. So as I've just mentioned, keep hold of them because when 1.6 drops, it's highly likely, given the true build diversity that we should hopefully see in 1.6, that those gear sets and gear attributes that were once garbage might finally be useful. Tip number 6, buy any blueprints that you don't currently have. In the last stand game mode, all gear across all your characters is going to be normalized. What does that mean? That means that any weapons, weapon mods, gear pieces, gear mods are all going to be pushed to their max attributes. In addition to this, any gear with a gear score of less than 256 or any mods with a level less than 34 are going to be normalized, which means their attributes are going to be pushed to the maximum possible. This essentially means that any items that are currently rolled from lower gear score blueprints are going to be pushed up to the max. So why not grab those blueprints now, roll yourself some god roll items with the abundance of blueprints that are available. So that's going to put you in a great position for the last stand game mode, and you can use your other PvE activities to farm up those 256 and level 34 gear mods. Tip number 7. Collect tier 1 and tier 2 gear set pieces. I have no doubt if you've been watching YouTube videos on the Division, you will have come across Marco's styles. Marco has recently released his patch 1.6 gear set tier list. I'll put a link in the description down below so you can watch the video in its entirety. But in essence, Marco has rated each gear set from tier 1 to tier 4. His thinking and reasoning behind why certain gear sets should be tier 1 and tier 2, in my opinion, is sound, and therefore I would recommend that you farm gear sets from tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 includes Striker, Nomad and Tactician. Tier 2 includes Banshee, Reclaimer, Sentry, Alpha Bridge, the Defense gear set and Lone Star. As I've just said, I'll put a link in the description down below. You can go and watch the entire video on Marco's channel. It's about 20-25 minutes long. It's a great video because in addition to just saying this is a tier 1 or this is a tier 2 item, he gives his reasoning and thoughts as to why he plays certain gear sets in certain tiers. So in summary, Marco's recommendation and my recommendation is to get yourself some Striker, some Nomad, some Tactician and some tier 2 and 3 items if possible to put yourself in a good position for when 1.6 releases. And that brings on to my final tip, tip number 8. Grab yourself some SMGs with some good rolls. In the final week of the 1.6 PTF, week 4, Massive announced that they're bringing the native crit chance back to SMGs. While mathematically, this could be considered a nerf, the fact that you don't have to spec into armor as a major attribute, and the fact that you can pick up crit damage elsewhere on your gear now, means that SMGs are once again on par with assault rifles. This change means that SMGs are now comparable to ARs when it comes to burst damage in PvP. Talent wise, if you want my recommendation as to what you should be looking for in an SMG, I think you should be looking for responsive, deadly, and then any other talent that might complement your playstyle. Just remember, get that crit chance as high as you can, but never trade off big chunks of crit damage, and that's because without a good chunk of crit hit damage, crit hit chance is pretty worthless. So yeah, grab yourself some well rolled SMGs and get ready for 1.6. And that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you didn't enjoy what you saw, please leave me a comment below and let me know why. If you have any other tips, again, leave those in the comments and I'll try and reply to each and every one of you. But for now, my name's been Cal. You guys, as always, have been amazing and I'll see you guys next time.